So today in Partner Connect, we're going to talk about Trilibis's new SaaS service, PSD to HTML. It's a very cool service. It's an API that can basically take a series of PSD files and a configuration file and convert it to either a Bootstrap HTML or a Pixel Perfect HTML. So let's go ahead and watch the demo. Okay, so for the Trilibis demo, what I have is a sample site here that kind of illustrates how to use the APIs. And the APIs support a Bootstrap layout or a Pixel Perfect layout as the resulting HTML. So we're going to go ahead and use the Bootstrap layout. So what I've done here is I have 3 different versions of a PSD. The web, tablet, and mobile version, and they're actually right here in this folder. And if we look at these different files, I just have GIMP on my on my computer. But here, for instance, is the web version, and you can see the layout. We've got the radio buttons off to the right, the to and the from. And this is just a traditional looking web page. So if I go and look at the tablet version, you can zoom in a little bit here. You can see it's a little bit different. It's laid out, obviously for a tablet device. And the artist can basically define how they want the fields to be laid out, and then we'll look at the mobile version. And there's our mobile version. So the 4th file is a configuration file, and if we look at this file, this is an optional file that you can use to basically give the different component names and put them as different types, for instance, for the different kinds of inputs that you want to be created within the HTML, what kind of button it is, etc. So this allows you to actually pre-configure how the HTML is going to be generated. So we'll go ahead and we'll choose this file, and then we'll go ahead and download. So that sent the files up to the Trilibis server and compiled the HTML and the different assets and went ahead and generated it. Now we can also preview it here. So it does basically the same thing. So while that's running, I'm going to go ahead and open this file and show you the different assets. So you can see here we have an HTML, a images folder, and a CSS folder. So if we look at the HTML, and now we can see our preview came up. Here we go. And these are all actual HTML fields that were generated by the Trilibis server and a Trilibis API. Now there's nothing in there, but it gives you a head start. And we can go ahead and look at, for instance, if we bring this out a little bit, this is the preview that we have on the store. Actually, let me make it a little smaller here so it fits on the screen. So you could see that it took that PSD and it created, the 3 different layouts with the different fields. Now, it's not, obviously 100% perfect. A lot of this is still imagery, but it's individual images. So you can see I could select the different artifacts. So some of the stuff, does come across as images, and you can actually check, look at that inside of the download folder, what ends up being images, what not. But that's what the configuration file allows you to do. It allows you to be as granular as you want, and it breaks up the PSD into all of the little components that were used to create the PSD to give you a head start with a responsive design. So if we take this, you can see it is responsive, just like we saw in the actual PSD itself. I think that's actually pretty slick if you think about what went on behind there. And then if we look at the CSS, you can pretty much see that it is responsive. There's a lot of different media sections in there, and like I said, all of this is configurable, and it gives you a great head start for taking your artwork and your designs from a PSD directly to an HTML file. So how cool is that? That PSD to HTML converter can come in pretty handy when you need to jumpstart your web applications from a design. So that's it for this segment of Partner Connect. My name is Bob Belf, and thanks for watching.